Hi, hello. I'm Ivan and Mayel, and we are working on Bonfire since several years. Thanks to Tommy for the wonderful introduction to the open social web and the Fediverse. I will steal a lot. I think one very important things that you said is that the Fediverse is about deconstructing the mainstream social media, and it's super interesting because this raises a whole new set of questions, like how we deconstruct, what we build on top of this. And the question, there is no like one answer and one right answer, but the answer came from communities, organization, team, developers that experiment, community that fork software and create other software, and we all together try to empower this ecosystem in this way. We, as Bonfire, are part of the Fediverse and are part of the open social web. The little distinction is that in the open social web, we also bridge with other protocols. So we use different kind of techniques to talk using open standard with platforms like Mastodon, GoToSocial, Flipboard, WordPress, Ghost, channels, and Lemmy. But also we bridge to towards other protocols like Blue Sky, possibly Noster, or any other open protocols that will join and then will come. And it is a growing constellation of people and applications connecting together. It's totally different from the experience that we had on mainstream social network, and I will not spend a lot of time here since the previous introduction by Tommy. And most of the people aren't on the open social web. They are trapped in Meta, TikTok, Instagram, and X. And those platforms produce a radically different experience for the users. There is a term that is coined by Cory Doctorow that's called enshittification, where this is the exactly business model that this mainstream platform put in place in order first to create something useful, genuinely useful for people and communities like Facebook or Twitter in the early days. But then they need to have revenues and pay the investors and the team. So like they steal the value from the people, from the users, towards the people, the company who actually are paying through ads, etc. And in different iterations, they steal the value also from that company towards shareholders. And in each iteration, the platform becomes more closed. The feeds are manipulated through proprietary algorithms. People or accountants are silenced, as we saw in different research worldwide. Data is sold, ads are everywhere, and platform can even vanish overnight or mutate, and users cannot do anything about it. And yeah.
Yeah, so Bonfire is trying to do kind of the opposite of all of that. And by focusing on communities and on people's needs to shape both the tools that we create and the spaces that we construct with those tools. So we have been working for years doing co-design with people, with communities, iterating and trying to figure out both how things should work, how they should look technically and socially and politically and even economically. So what is Bonfire? First of all, and that's how it's different from most others, it's a modular framework. So it's a toolkit for building federated open apps. And what does that mean? It means we have different extensions and what we call app flavors. So Bonfire is not one app. Actually, today we've just launched Bonfire Social 1.0. So that's a big milestone. But Bonfire Social is only our first app. It's very similar to existing ones for like microblogging, even though we have things like circles and boundaries that are more unique on the Fediverse. But we've been working on many other apps, and that's where we are today. That's our new focus, is what do communities need and building apps around these use cases. The first one that we have in beta right now is the Open Science Network. So this is for researchers and scientists who have specific needs, who not only are exploited by the big tech platforms, but also by their whole industry, where basically their work is stolen and sold, and they don't see any participation in that. So yeah, it's very encouraging for them to be able to create a new way. And how will Bonfire not enshittify? Many people ask, it's so many platforms launch and they look really cool and they're helpful, and then little by little they just become shit. So the way to avoid that, hopefully, is to be open source, to have open governance, and to have open funding. So that's what we've been trying to do. Of course, the code is AGPL, open source, but we also do consent-based governance, decentralized governance with all the communities involved. And today we're also launching a crowdfunding campaign, so people are directly involved in shaping what we build next. And of course, Bonfire is federated, and you also mentioned bridges to Blue Sky and AT Proto apps. So when we talk about the open social web, it's not just the Fediverse. The idea is kind of that we can have a last migration from closed platforms to open networks, right? So that once you're a part of the open social web, it doesn't matter what app you use, it doesn't matter what provider you chose, you can always migrate to a new app, to a new server, and you keep not only your data and identity and your social graph, your followers, but you also you just keep going as you were, but your needs are met in new and better ways every time you migrate.
Yeah, so this is a little focus on what we released today and what we built so far. Bonfire Social is our first app, as Mayel said, and in many ways it's just yet another microblogging platform as we are used to see and experience. But there are differences, and maybe the best way to explore this difference between Bonfire and the Fediverse in general compared to mainstream platform are comparing the features and how the user experience differs. Like we are used in a mainstream platform to have the feeds that are manipulated by algorithms that we don't know how they behave, how it works. There will be another talk about this later. And instead in Bonfire, you can create your own feeds. Still not advanced that you can create complex algorithm, but we will go there. And so you can decide which kind of activities you want to see, how they are sorted, and go beyond the people you are following, reverse chronological feeds. Then there is concept that span also on how you perceive your social media and social network experience. In like mainstream social networks and social media, you only deal with followers. This is your binary choice, or someone is following or someone is not following you. In Bonfire, we have circles where you can granularly describe who you are interacting with, in which kind of circles they behave. It's part of your family, it's part of the people you hang out with, and so forth. And lastly, but I think it's one of the features that we care the most, is creating a difference between your audience and your boundaries. You are used to write anything on the social media, mostly to attract audience or to speak to a general audience. In Bonfire, you can customize not only who you are interacted with, but also how they can reply and how they interact back with you. So not only choosing who will be able to see your post, but also which kind of activities they can do. They can reply to a post. Specific circle may not have the permission to like or boost or replies, but only see. And imagine how this can dramatically change discussion, a conversation around sensitive topics like politics or education, healthcare, by having this granular control over who can interact with you and your activities. And lastly, as Mayel was saying before, in Facebook and other platforms, you are locked in. Once you build your network there, you cannot move outside of that platform. So most of the time, you are constrained of being there, like in LinkedIn, without the possibility to switch. In Bonfire, you have the possibility to port all your data, including posts, and toward other platforms that are compatible with the protocol. And
yeah, so now is time for the next evolution. Beyond microblogging, beyond social media, we want to build social networking apps. So we want to build things for gathering together as communities. We want to build things for caring and looking after each other, for connecting in better ways, and even for going beyond. So some of the projects we're working on, and these are all stretch goals of our crowdfunding campaign, which also launched today. So the first one is simply maintenance of the toolkit and of Bonfire Social, because often maintenance doesn't receive any focus, right? It's unsexy, and funders or people don't really care. You have to do that on your own time, but it's very important. So that's the first goal. And then we're working on groups, federated groups, so you can connect with people around a specific topic or a community or a neighborhood and talk within the group rather than sort of globally or just to your own network. Then is events, sharing events, discovering events. We're working tools on governance, so it can be a basic poll, but it can be more advanced decision-making tools for like sociocracy and consent-based decisions. We're working, or we have been researching and want to build a cross-server and cross-platform moderation tool, so moderators can collaborate without having to duplicate labor. Then is cooperative hosting to make people to make it easier to host a server without doing it yourself if you don't have the technical skills. Then is end-to-end encryption using MLS, and this will be interoperable with other Fediverse apps and hopefully beyond. We're working on tools for mutual aid, like Buy Nothing groups, to share resources in emergency situations or daily life. Bridges with Blue Sky, mobile apps, tools for living memory, and talking with the earth using sensor data.
So yeah, just to summarize, but yeah, it's everything that we just said. Why joining Bonfire and why joining the open social web? It's mostly about being autonomous and have self-sovereignty over the community and the platform that the data that you produce and the platform that you use. And also is common-based development, and we invite everyone to co-design together and be part of this and speak loud. And also is an open infrastructure, so no one can buy, no one can destroy. And we try and we will try to improve as we go on how to resist to enshittification in the future. And then going beyond microblogging is real tools for organizing, not just sharing posts and followers. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, today we launched the Bonfire Social 1.0 in the campaign. I don't know if, yeah, there is 1 minute and a half for questions.
Thank you.